Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to bring on one of our favorite guests who we always enjoy visiting with. He's an attorney and freedom fighter, and he's been working hard in the great state of Missouri. We want to talk about HB 1169. Let's say hello to Tom Renz, who's with us here today. Hey, Tom, how are you? Good day.
I'm doing great, Jeff. I'm fighting so hard trying to get this passed in every state that we can. I actually had to interview from the road today.
Well, hey, we just appreciate you being with us. We know you're working hard. Let's talk about HB 1169. It's just a short bill. It's just a page and a half, and it requires informed consent. So before a gene therapy or medical intervention, and it keeps meds out of food. Tell us more, Tom.
Yeah, so that's it, right? This is about as simple as it gets. What we did was I worked with the bill sponsor, Holly Jones, and what we wanted to do was to craft a bill that was very difficult to oppose and yet still effective. So we didn't have, there's no pork, there's no garbage, there's no buy-offs, there's no payoffs. It's a page and a half. I posted the newest language on Twitter today, and all it does is says that, if you've got a gene therapy or gene modifying technology in your product, whatever it is, you just have to provide disclosure and informed consent. That's all. And so this does nothing but provide informed consent. That's it.
So, and that's, of course, what we don't have, right? I mean, we don't know what we're eating. Is that the bottom line, Tom?
No, we don't. In fact, right now, we've actually, since you and I even talked, we've confirmed this mRNA stuff is in the food supply. We know that Merck has a product called Sequebity. They've been injecting mRNA into pigs since 2018. We know that they can actually make what's called transmissible mRNA. And what that means is that they can put this stuff in an animal so that it transmits to whoever is ingesting whatever it is that they're ingesting, and they become vaccinated. So they could engineer this into plants, into animals, into various things. And if we don't get disclosure, if we don't, pass some informed consent laws, what's going to happen is for all you guys that stood strong and said no to these mRNA vaccines, well, you're going to get them anyways, right through your food.
And that's the scary thing. So many of us were really speaking out against these vaccines, giving people the option, didn't want mandates. Now we've got to make sure that this isn't slipped in through our food supply. How is this going to impact farmers and ranchers, Tom?
It's not. We actually wrote in an exemption for them. But it will exempt them or cause a problem if we don't do this. See, the way it stands right now, the Bill Gates factory farms, the CCP-owned farms, these big mega farms, well, they have layer and layer after layer of legal protection, right? So you sue them, good luck, right? But if the local farmer gets this put in his food and his food then makes someone sick, he's going to get sued. And when lawyers come looking, they're not going to start out with Bill Gates because that's the hard lawsuit. What you do is you start out suing the easy targets. So the lawyers will come. They'll come after the local farmers, the local ranchers. They'll go after them. They're easy targets. They'll settle. Right. They'll take the money. They'll run. The little guys are going to get ate alive, and the only ones that'll win are the big corporate factory farmers.
Well, that's another very important part to this. Now, we need to get this passed in Missouri, and then this needs to sweep across the nation. So can this sort of same model be used in states all across the country?
Yeah, that's the great news. Is actually I have a number of states that are now reaching out that are interested in this. And my prayer is that we do get this in a few states. Now, there's going to, every state's going to have a little bit different language. The key is that there's informed consent before someone screws with your genes, right? For me, I'm a Christian. I believe I was made in the image of God. I don't want to be made in the image of Bill Gates, right? I mean, the guy's got man boobs. So, yes. I want to stick with the image of God. And if they're going to screw with my genes, I have the right to know that ahead of time. That's a medical intervention, right? This is like Nuremberg. But what they're doing is they're using legal loopholes to try and shove this through the food thing. So if we do this and we get this passed in a few states, it'll end up shutting it down nationally.
Well, and I certainly hope that happens. It needs to happen. So what are the dangers of mRNA in our food supply, Tom?
Well, there's two kind of different issues that we face with this, right? So, and by the way, before anybody says, "Hey, you're a lawyer, not a scientist," okay, that's true. I'm working with McCullough. I'm working with all of the big name, brilliant people that know way more than I do. So they're double checking my work on this. I'm correct about what I'm saying here, right? Plus, I have to be able to explain it in a courtroom. So if I don't understand it, then I'm in trouble. Basically, we've got two issues. One is what's called the transmissible mRNA, right? And that's where they put it in the plant, they put it in the animal, they put it in Bill Gates' factory food. And once you take it, you're getting vaccinated without your knowledge, or your genes are being changed without your knowledge. The other issue is what happens with non-transmissible mRNA when it's in the food supply, right? This is something that we don't really know. There's no studies out there that I can find
Right.
that are talking about what happens when you ingest meat or other things that are infected with this. Now, like I said, with regards to pigs, they've been doing it since 2018, but there aren't any studies that I can find showing, is this safe? Is it dangerous? What is it? What's going on with it? And now with these newer gene therapy drugs, like they've got with the COVID and all this other stuff, I mean, these could be changing the pig's genetics dramatically. What happens if they change the pig's genetics dramatically? Is that still safe meat for me to eat? We don't know. There's a whole lot of we don't knows with this.
I would say no. I would say certainly raises a lot of concerns, and we should stay away. All right, we've got about a minute, and this vote is going to be Wednesday, right? So we need to get people mobilized to contact the leaders in Missouri to get behind HB 1169. So we have limited time, right, Tom?
Yeah, I posted contact numbers and emails. So call away, brothers and sisters. We need these guys to hear from we the people. The new bill has nothing in it to oppose. It even exempts farmers. So the cattlemen and all these farm bureaus that were complaining about this, they should be saying thank you now, because this will protect small farmers and with no extra requirements. But we've got to have this passed.
I 1,000% support what you're doing, Tom Renz. Thank you as always. Appreciate your work. We look forward to visiting with you again soon. And again, that's HB 1169 in Missouri. Wednesday is the vote. Let's start in Missouri and go across the country with this. You can learn more at Tom's site, which is tomrenz.com. Thank you, sir.